I want to jump, Dr. Mack, to a story that is really bothering me. 19 officers in Austin, Texas, have been indicted for aggravated assault, and these indictments stem from the 2020 George Floyd protests. Now, I have a clip from our friend Amy Goodman at Democracy Now!, who's summarizing the grand jury indictment sources. And here's the thing: as we listen to this, the insult to injury, those 19 officers, they have been given a single dollar as bail. $1 bail, which is the insult to injury, on top of the fact of the aggravated assault that occurred during the 2020 George Floyd protests. Let's take a listen into this clip and the summary from our friend at Democracy Now!, Amy Goodman.
In Texas, a grand jury has indicted 19 Austin police officers on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for their roles in violently suppressing Black Lives Matter protests in 2020. News of the indictments came just hours after Austin approved a $10 million settlement with 2 protesters injured by police, including 20-year-old Texas State University student Justin Howell, who suffered brain damage when he was shot in the head with a lead pellet bag fired by an officer's shotgun.
Now, out of the 19 officers, 8 of them have been given a single dollar bail. Dr. Mack, I know we all were seized by the protests. We all saw the country move into action on behalf of George Floyd, but we also saw the brutal suppression tactics. And here we are with, I don't know if we call this accountability with that dollar bill. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Man, let me be very transparent here. I keep up with a lot of things. I don't keep up with everything. So I'm going to need you to back this thing up, put it in reverse, and explain to me in as simply terms as you can, because I think what you're saying to me and to all of us is that these 19 officers, were they found guilty? So obviously they were found guilty and they were given bail.
Well, they were indicted.
They were indicted. And the judge says, all right, you're guilty. I'm going to throw you in jail. But if you want to bail yourself out, your bail's going to be $1. Is that what you're saying to me, Ben? Is that what you're telling us, Ben Dixon?
I will give you, and it's not from me, I will give it to you according to the Associated Press.
Why don't you?
A Texas grand jury indicted 19 Austin police officers on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for their actions during the 2020 protests over racial injustice that spread nationwide following the killing of George Floyd. Multiple people spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the case. Austin Police Association president confirmed 19 officers are facing charges, but did not give out any more details. Word of the indictments came hours after Austin city leaders approved paying $10 million to 2 people injured by members of the 1,640 officer department. So yes, these officers have been indicted. They were arrested. And they were giving, 8 of them were given a single dollar bail for their actions, according to the Associated Press. And I can continue reading if you need more information. But
no, fam. I think I got it. So Ben, if you indict somebody, that means they did something wrong. And in this case, what we just heard from the clip is that there was a young man who suffered brain damage as a result of what these officers collectively did. Am I oversimplifying that?
No, you're not. That's exactly right. Some people, and across the country now, this shouldn't just be an Austin, Texas thing, to be sure, because we saw people lose eyes. We saw people lose hearing. They were brutally assaulted with the crackdown.
Okay. Well, just stay with me here. So these 19 officers, right?
19 officers indicted.
Okay,
yes,
so 19 officers collectively did something wrong to the fact that the city of Austin paid to 2 individuals $10 million. And one of those individuals we know suffered brain damage.
That's correct. That's correct.
The judge found everybody guilty and said to at least 8 of these officers, but your bail is $1.
Well, guilty is a word that we got to leave for the jury, but they indicted them, right? That they were held on bond pending their trial.
Okay.
And so until that trial, they have a $1 bill, if I'm getting the story correct. But
Okay.
that's where
and
we are.
I love the fact that you're keeping me straight. So they were indicted. They were indicted. Now the judge at this point knows that there was a young man who suffered brain damage as a result of what these officers collectively did.
Yep. Let me give you this.
Judge says, and now that judge says to 8 of them, your bail gonna be $1.
The largest of the Austin settlements, let me read this from the Associated Press, was $8 million to Justin Howell, who was 20 years old when police shot him with a beanbag round. Family members told the AP that following the incident, Howell suffered a cracked skull and brain damage, leaving him in critical condition for multiple days. The city also paid $2 million to Anthony Evans, who was 26, when Austin police officers shot him with a beanbag round in a separate incident, which resulted in an extensive medical treatment to his jaw. Yes.
Okay. Ben, I don't know how much more insulting you could be like that. I don't know.
That's it.
Now that we done flushed this thing out, I think everybody should be very clear that I can shoot you, man, and you suffer brain damage, the possibility of you losing an eye, and somehow through this, I can indict you to show that, hey, I'm holding you accountable, but I'm gonna hold you accountable for at least $1.
For $1. For $1. It is the insult to the literal injury. That is where we are. Yes, Brother Mac.